There we go. Welcome everyone to another episode of Epic Drone Show. And as you can see, I'm still getting the hang of the audio and video switching, but everything is coming together nicely. The audio level should be good now. I think I just killed my green screen backdrop, but that'll be easy to fix. Check this out. I'm going to go back to where it's cold, man. Go to the snow. Let's see. Let me fire this up here. We're going to go cold weather. Brr, 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 brr. It's about to be cold. Super cold. Check this out. Aha. It is going to be cold. Super duper cold. Okay, let's see if it's coming through okay there. Yep, sure is. So, I forgot my my little Epic Drone Show logo. Got to put that on there. Put it on the bottom here. Let's see, Epic Drone Show. Got to have that branding. And let's see, let's pop that up. Boom. There's Epic Drone Show. So welcome aboard, everyone. This is, just getting my comfort level with the new equipment up. The audio levels, I hope everything sounds good. It should be acceptable audio levels tonight. I know yesterday I had some low volume, and I appreciate all y'all commenting about that because it was kind of what's the word for it? It was disappointing. SoCal Seth, man, welcome aboard. SoCal, have not seen you in a while. Hope Hawaii is doing well with this interesting situation that we're experiencing globally. So, yeah, man, just getting back on another live show, and let's see, that is looping like it should. That background, I filmed that in. It was in January in the Appalachian Mountains, in the Smoky Mountains. That's a trail called Middle Prong Trail, and you can see over there's a creek. Hiking into this location, and we did, I think it was 16 miles round trip, 16 or 17 miles round trip. But hiking in, there was no snow. Started a fire, got down to, to get down to, was it 5 degrees? I mean, it was single digits. I don't think it got into the, well, actually, no. It did get into the negative because of the elevation. You know, we hiked all the way up. And Andrea, welcome aboard. And Andrea, I've got something here. Let me grab that. Because Andrea is always so good about the super chats when I'm doing my in the field shows and all that, I'll blow the sound of the super chat. And anytime a super chat comes through, the sound of the super chat will erupt. So, yeah, it's always good. Andrea says, I like the snowy background. Thank you. That's Middle Prong Trail. Again, that was on the hike out. You know, we did about 16, 17 mile round trip, got it right around zero, maybe a little bit in the negative digits. You know, slept out there overnight. And then, the hike out, I mean, snow was a few feet. I mean, it was coming up, not quite to the knees, but it was an interesting hike out because there was a lot of ice too. And, that can always be challenging. But, for that reason, we had micro spikes. And, those are pretty much a must if you're backpacking and, at elevation in the middle of the winter. So, SoCal Seth says, been busy, brother. Went to Hawaii in January before all the lockdowns, missed the mandatory quarantine by a couple weeks. Well, it's a good place to be locked down, man. And Trep, welcome back, Trep. Always good to have you, man. Got everything brewing with the studio here, and got some drone excitement coming. By the way, I want to remind everyone, if got this new technology, and if y'all would like to dial into the show, if you're able to call New York, the phone lines are ready. So if you're able to call New York, just shoot me a message on Facebook.com/IRIXGuy, because this yellow phone is ready to ring in New York. So, yeah, just, no pressure, but if you want to dial in, Facebook.com/IRIXGuy, and I'll toss you the number to the studio, and you can call this here yellow phone and be on the show as a call-in guest. SoCal Seth says, too cold, I need a beach. I'm the same way. I mean, it's hard to say, do I like the cold weather or the warm weather better? I mean, ultimately, the majority of what I do is, warm weather destinations. But the thing is, at least now, with this global crisis, it may be a lot more snowy destinations, because in the United States, man, I can drive to the mountains, I can drive to that sort of stuff, and there's beaches in the United States, but you're not going to get the type of scenery that you would get in, say, Hawaii or the Caribbean. So for that reason, I'm probably going to go, unless this COVID stuff clears up, I'm probably going to go mountain heavy. And actually, even if it does clear up, one way or the other, there's going to be a lot. I'm going to do some multi-night backpacking trips with some friends on the, and I always say the Appalachian Trail. I always say that's so cheesy when people say the Appalachian Trail, because a lot of people that aren't backpackers, that have never done backcountry camping, and I'm not insulting them, but a lot of people that haven't, they're under the false assumption that the only trail that people can go backpacking on is the Appalachian Trail, and that is just, the Appalachian Trail is really nice. It's just one of many trails, and obviously, it goes all the way from Georgia to, what is it, Cathedon, or how you say it, Maine, Cathedon, Maine, or whatever. It's a long hike, man. The floating taco bar, you talking about the one at the Hanson Bay, Lime Out at Hanson Bay? Is that the one you're talking about? I think it probably is. That's an awesome place. You just swim up and you can kayak out or whatever. It was bad. The last time I was there, September of 2019, they had the Lime Out was closed, because that was kind of their low season. And that's one of my things. I'm an extremely thrifty traveler, so I like to roll the dice and go to a lot of islands during the potential hurricane season, and when you can get really good deals. And the flip side of that, though, is that some of the restaurants, now your primary restaurants are probably pretty much all going to be open, but a lot of restaurants and cool places like SoCal Seth was talking about, the Lime Out, the floating taco bar, a lot of those are seasonal. So there are advantages to going during peak season. What I like about the off season, though, and again, if a hurricane hits, you're SOL, man. Hope you got travel insurance, but I just roll the dice, and fortunately I've been lucky so far with that. And the other good thing about going in low season and off season is that you don't have the crowds. So you go to these really popular beaches and you don't run into a lot of people, and that's always a good thing. But yeah, drones, man. We've got again, and this was mentioned during a live show a few days ago, but the consensus is that probably what's going to happen, DJI is probably going to release a new action camera. Maybe it's not the Osmo Action, maybe it's not the Osmo Pocket, but speculation, and at least my belief, is that probably what's going to happen, DJI is probably going to release a new camera, around fourth quarter of 2020. And my educated assumption is that camera will likely also be able to be used as a modular camera for the upcoming Mavic 3 in 2021, which would make sense. You sell people cameras, a more affordable option than a drone as far as gifts concerned. You get all these under Christmas trees for the holidays 2020, December 2020, and then, the first part of 2021, hopefully they release the Mavic 3 as expected, and then if it's modular camera as expected, then you've potentially already got a camera you can slap on your Mavic 3. So yeah, so you went to the floating talk. What's your now, have you been to St. John? I mean, I know you're in Hawaii all the time. Or did you just see the floating taco bar? I was just wondering. I'm wondering if you've been there in 2020. SoCal says, "Yup, less crowds in the off season. That's why we go to Hawaii in January and don't stay in Wacky. Yeah, Wacky Key is packed, man." Philippe, hello Ed. DJI has to compete with Insta360 R1 action camera, leading over GoPro. Yeah, man, Insta360. And that's something I want to pick up. Insta360 has really stirred up a lot of positivity, man. I mean, it's a very popular camera, and that's I'm bummed. I don't understand why 360 degree is so. It just seems kind of stagnant. It's like, and even GoPro released. Let's see, what do they call it? They had the GoPro Fusion, which was the older tech, and then they came out with a newer model GoPro, which does 360, but you never really hear about those. And I don't know if it's because people are afraid to edit 360 spherical videos, or if they don't know how to edit 360-degree spherical videos, or if, as much as I hate to say it, has the buzz died out. And, and the other thing is, if you're filming with a 360, like you mentioned, the Insta360 R1, if you're filming of something like that, you don't have to necessarily publish your video in 360 degree format. One of the advantages to using a 360 camera is that you're capturing in all directions at the same time. And, then when you're in post-production, it's like having filmed with multiple cameras, except it was just one spherical camera. So you could create, standard type of video shots, just widescreen, non-spherical, non-VR, and, it provides value there. SoCal Seth says, "Just saw the taco bar. It's been about 8 years since I've been to the VIs. I need to head back." Yeah, man, I'm itching to head back. I would have, had it not been for, for all this virus going around, I would already, I'd probably be going back in September. I mean, that's because that's one of those groups. Here's the thing, you go to the Virgin Islands, there's so many islands there, and there's just so much to do. And it's good to go other places, and I want to go to other places, but it's like I go to these other places, and it's like I just find that I keep wanting to go back to the BVIs and the USVI, just because there's so many islands, there's so many restaurants. It's just, I don't know, it's just hard to beat. You find, and I'm not one of these people that finds something great and just wants to repeat it over and over, because, repeating something that's great, I mean, it's not like it's going to become boring, but, there's value in checking out other places too. But, you find the awesome spots, and then sometimes you want to frequent those spots just because they're so much fun. Yeah, Philippe's got it. He said the GoPro Max. Yeah, you're right. GoPro Max is the latest 360 VR spherical, whatever you want to call it, GoPro camera. Philippe says, "I currently own the GoPro 7, waiting for new GoPro or a new Insta360. Unless DJI comes up with something unbelievable." I think DJI will come up with something unbelievable for 2021 because, it's and again, that's also signaled by the Mavic Air 2 because the Mavic Air 2 has just been such an outstanding drone, and the Mavic Air 2 is not positioned as DJI's fanciest drone by any means. And you get everything you get with Mavic Air 2, that leads one to question, what is going to be so spectacular that the Mavic 3 is going to bring to the table. So I'm convinced it's going to be something revolutionary. I'm convinced it's going to be something game changing. And again, I'm sticking to my belief that the that the modular camera is probably going to materialize, and that Mavic 3 with a modular camera, and and hopefully they'll release that camera that can also be used on the ground, and hopefully that'll hit fourth quarter of 2020, and potentially people already have the camera when the Mavic 3 comes out, and really be able to experience something really new and fresh. Let's see. Philippe says, same thing for a new laptop, waiting to see what Apple has under their arms. Yep, it looks like arms under their arm. I love that, arms. Yep, ARM is definitely the key word there. And, Apple, without a doubt, Apple's going to be going with the ARM CPUs. I bet we see the MacBook Air or maybe the MacBook Pro switch to ARM first. Or maybe it's even just the Mac Mini, because, the developer kit that Apple distributed to its developers after WWDC, Worldwide Developers Conference, was just a Mac Mini. So, maybe they'll do the Mac Mini and the laptops first. I bet I doubt they will do, if they do any desktop, it's probably going to be the iMac, and I doubt they won't touch the iMac Pro or the Mac Pro for a while. Those will probably be on the tail end of it. Because, those are workhorse machines. Those are machines that a lot of companies have invested a lot of... I forgot to plug my camera in. Hold on. My battery and my camera died. Hold on. Let's see. Plug it back in here. Okay, here we go. Coming back up. Coming back on. Yeah, that'll make you feel stupid, man. Forgetting to plug in I put a little USB cable in it to trickle charge it. Yeah, that was dumb. Now my backdrop's disappeared. Let me fire that back up. Fire up the backdrop. Hold on. See, there's a lot of stuff involved with this. But the good thing is I'll get it right back up. Check it out. Do camera 2. Hit play. Do view. We do loop. There's the loop. And let's see, we should be back up. Back to multi-view. Oh, well, we're almost back. Sorry, just had a power outage, man, or a loss of power because I forgot to stick in the little USB thing. Let's see, there we go. Now that's going to have us back. Let's see. There we go. Back in the mountains. Back in the mountains. Back in the mountains. There we go. Okay, so SoCal says so we'll have to do Hawaii together sometime. I know the best spots for food, dude. If I'm down there with the channel, I'll definitely give you a shout. I haven't been to Hawaii recently. Full disclosure, I haven't been to Hawaii since 2009. And when I went in 2009, it had grown so much, and I was just like, but granted, Mama's Fish House in Paia, Maui, love that place. Chemo's in Lahaina. Chemo's was really good. You know, I've only touched the surface on when it comes to restaurants down there. For lunch, the place in Paia, the little fish, was it the fish market or whatever in Paia where you get the sandwiches, fish sandwiches, that was good. Philippe says, I need a laptop or a desktop. Best advice, hold on. You know, with Apple doing what they're doing, hold on and see what comes out. See what's underneath Apple's arms. Ha, 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 ARM CPUs. Philippe says, if DJI has a powerful Mavic Pro 3 with the size of the Mavic Air 2, I might get it. No doubt, man. And, you know, it only makes sense. I mean, you know, how they're going to have to trump their Mavic Air 2 with the Mavic 3. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what, you know, what the Mavic 3 brings. And I stand to what I was saying is that, you know, Mavic 3 is going to be, the modular camera drone, and it's going to be the big kahuna, man. It's going to be, it is going to be excellent. So let's see what we have here. So what else? What other thoughts do you have? I mean, I know we're thinking about Mavic 3 and possibly the Mavic 4. I mean, you got to get to the 3 first. But what about a new Phantom? You know, what about the Phantom X, DJI Phantom X? Do you think that's vapor? Let's see. Philippe says, later now I will watch this guy who will stream in about 2 hours. Go in the Philippines. He has a laptop and a mic, has nothing fancy like you in the tech system. And I can hear and see very well. Do you really need all the stuff? I'm just curious. Well, you know, I don't need it. But the thing is with the live stream, and there's a lot of subtle things, like, for example, using this that's on my desk now, and I've got a tutorial that's rendering right now while I'm doing this live show, so I'll be posting another how to Skype using Rodecaster Pro and ATEM Mini Pro. That's a video that's going to be coming out of my production room here shortly. So you don't have to have, you don't have to have all of this, but the value add, for example, this Rodecaster Pro, number one, I get this mic, but I could have up to 4 mics, not just mics. I've got USB input from the computer. I've got sound effects. Got a soundboard on it. I mean, just, all kinds of stuff. You can call my New York studio. I mean, honestly, dude, y'all want to put it to the test? If anybody's here, you're watching right now, if you want to dial in, message me, facebook.com/IRIX guy. If you want to dial in and chat on this during this live stream, I mean, you're more than welcome to. And I've only got one phone in the studio, but you'd have to be able to call New York. I don't have a toll-free number, so that's just part of it. I mean, growing pains. But yeah, you get. Let's see. Once I got a message right here. Let me see what I got. Let's see. Sorry, I had to message this dude. Okay, so got that. And yeah, so the value add, you get sound effects. I've got the ability, I've got these studio headphones so I can monitor the audio levels. You could do silly stuff like that. You could, I could pump music into this. If one of y'all want to call in to the New York studio, You can call, shoot me a message, facebook.com/IRIX guy, and then you could be plugged in, live guest on air by way of this yellow phone. So, it does that. It also does, a cocktail. I will definitely have a cocktail this weekend. And you know what I got to do for that? Before the weekend, I got to celebrate with anytime there's a super chat, you get the sound of the super chat. Hold on. And actually, speaking of the value add of the Rodecaster, another thing I can do with it, I've got another mic, a shotgun mic. I could position that in the floor. So when I get the super chats and do the sound of the super chat, it's really loud and in your ears. You really get to hear that didgeridoo. So yeah, that's another thing. And then the fact that this is broadcast quality audio. This has something called Aphex, which has Aphex voice exciter and Aphex big bottom. So without being an audio engineer, I can plug in a Rode microphone, and you can use third-party mics too. But I can plug it in, click some buttons, answer some questions, and achieve outstanding audio. Also, the Rodecaster Pro has the ability to record the audio. So if I want to save these shows and then do an audio only, like upload them as a podcast, and that's something I'm working on now. And that's the one of the reasons that I wanted to get the Rodecaster Pro is that I can also record the professional broadcast quality audio and upload it as a podcast because, my thing, I'm a capitalist. So, I want to have as many pursuits as I can concurrently. And since I'm recording this anyway, if I can do a podcast with the same content, why not? That enhances discoverability, that potentially enhances profitability, and it's just a positive. So, that's something, podcasting is something I want to explore. SoCal says, more of a drone-related question. With governments possibly banning TikTok, I've heard all about that. And by the way, I have never signed up for TikTok, and I personally will not sign up for TikTok. Because of relationship with the Chinese government, could the same thing happen with DJI? I think a lot of things could potentially happen. I'm not one that likes to speculate. However, I am one that likes to acknowledge that things could go south. So, with that being the case, I think it's always good to have, to think, well, what if, if that happened, number one, there's going to have to be some big United States-based drone companies step up and, and start releasing quality stuff. But, it's, I don't, let's see. We got Philippe says, I have a good story about my drone share that story. Hey, you know what? Philippe, if you want to dial into the New York studio, shoot me a message on facebook.com/IRIX guy, and I can, what's the word for it? I can patch you in. Or you can type it in the chat, no pressure. So, eat more possum. Not a big deal, but I notice the front of the microphone is tack sharp, but you look a little soft. Maybe dial in. Check this out. Eat more possum. I appreciate that, and I think I know what the solution is going to be. I've got to put my head behind this. Okay. So what I just did, per your feedback, Eat More Possum, and I don't know if this has changed the look any, and I hit the camera with my arm. I hope I didn't bump anything out of alignment. But what you just said is awesome because without getting too technical about it, if this looks better, and I may have to even go less shallow, I was shooting at f2.8 aperture, which is called wide open. And basically what that means is the best way to think about aperture when it comes to video or photo is that a shallow depth of field, potentially you may have that much room for, your subject. So in this case, it was autofocusing upon the microphone. And since it was autofocusing upon that, and the depth of field, let's just say hypothetically, was only that much, and there's depth of field calculators, and that's actually what I need to do is pull one up on my phone and dial this in. But since I increased the depth of field, since I went from f2.8, which is wide open with this lens, to f5.6, potentially I've got more space that's somewhat perfectly focused. So it'd be interesting now if I'm, kind of close to the mic, if I look a little bit better focused. And, also with f2.8, advantages to that, you are getting a shallower depth of field, but you're getting better low light performance. Obviously, low light performance is not applicable for this because I got studio lighting. All of this lighting is color matched at 5500K, daylight white. Thank you for that. And just kind of let me know if this looks better. If it doesn't, I'm going to bump it up maybe for the next show, do an F8 or an F9. Philippe says, I went to Montauk Lighthouse. I've seen that show. It's a show called The Affair on Showtime, Montauk. Did you run into those people out there? And I was using my drone. I made some great videos and photos until a park agent came to me and asked me to bring my drone back or I could get a fine of $5,000. Whoa, man. But hey, at least you have the French accent. So hopefully you were able to play that one off, man. Ooh. Yeah, that's no fun, man. That is no fun at all. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Man, yeah, good thing you have a French accent, because that, hope you got out of that. An F8. Yeah, F8 is a little bit, yeah, that, typically, I think, he says now when you're close to the microphone, you're in focus. Cool. So I think I'll stick with this is f5.6. And what you'll find with most of your lenses, now this lens that I'm using is, shooting it wide open is f2.8. And that's where I was initially. But I think for the, since I do have this here, that, f5.6 where I'm going to stick. And the other thing I can do to dial this in is take, kick it into manual focus. And then that way, I'll pull a depth of field calculator out and actually determine, okay, what's the here's what I can do. What's the distance between microphone and the wall, and then manually focus upon the microphone, and then I'll know that I've got X depth of field. So if I go forward or backwards, that I'll still be somewhat in peak focus. So, man, my battery, I let that battery get low. Let me swap that battery out, man. I'll be right back. Here I am worried about let's see. Whoa. Yikes. Scary. Okay, I'm coming right back. Right back. Yeah, what happened? I had a battery that I'd been using for some other purposes, and I didn't charge it enough. So the USB during a live show will keep it somewhat trickle charged, but it's not going to go. It was too low. It was too low. So I've addressed that issue, and we should be back in business here with the live show. Let's see. Let me pop over to my thing and get my backdrop back up. I tell you what, enough of the cold weather. Let's get something warm up. Let's get a warm weather backdrop. No, let's do this. Let's go somewhere else. Let's go to British Columbia. British Columbia. Okay, so now we should have British Columbia. And we do. There's British Columbia. That behind me is Alta Lake in British Columbia. And I filmed that. The sharpness of that background is probably not the best. I filmed that with a little Lumix point and shoot. Actually, a pretty incredible camera for what I was able to achieve with it. That was the Lumix LX100. That's Alta Lake, which is in British Columbia, not too far. I hiked into there from Whistler. It's not a long hike at all. Let's see. And then let's see. Philippe says, Ed, where are you? Do you have a blackout in your village? I'm in Soho, New York. And speaking of that, if anybody wants to dial in to Soho, New York, this is my number. I can patch y'all into you can be a live guest. Okay, let's see. And then, let's see, Jake says, hi from me and McKenna and Maya. We hope we aren't late. Never late, man. You're here. There's no roll call or anything like that. This is just a very, we're glad you made it. And that's all that matters, man. You're here. You're here. And by the way, but you're in Canada, so you probably can't call New York. I was going to say, if you can call New York, you could call into the live show with my little soundboard here I got. So let's see. And then SoCal says, can we get a Caribbean background? Oh man, since you asked, no doubt. Let me transition here to, we will do Anguilla. Let's do Anguilla. Let's see. Might as well. So we're going to kill the other one. This is Meads Bay Anguilla that's about to pop up. So we go to green screen. Play. Boom. And then loop. There we go. I tell you, I love using this Apple TV 4K for the green screen component. Just makes it easy because you can pop up. Now see, this is Meads Bay. And a fun fact, see that little point back there behind my chair? That's a little restaurant. You go there, you get frozen drinks and sandwiches and stuff. It's called Blanchard's. But when we were there, Justin Bieber, that musician dude, he had rented out that, or maybe he owns it. I don't know. He and what's her name, his girlfriend at the time or whatever, they were staying there. They were out on the beach with his bodyguard. And then Jake says, been to BC lots of times, even visited Fort Mac Fire. Very cool. Well, I don't like to be here if you're just near end, and that's what I mean by late to the party. Hey, sometimes it's good to arrive a little bit late. sometimes it's good to, close it down, man. SoCal says, was getting too cold, even though it's over 100 degrees here in Arizona. Oh, man, that is some painful heat. Jake says, that's more like it's summer. Yep. Can't beat Anguilla. Well, you can't. I like Anguilla, but, I mean, their beaches there are incredible. There's just not a lot of terrain on Anguilla. It kind of reminds me, it's a lot like Turks and Caicos. It's just really flat, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, but, I like a little bit of terrain. So let's see what we have here. Yeah, I got tons of people tuning in. Philippe says, Dominican Republic has a new curfew for the next 45 days, 7 p.m. to 5 a.m., and no beach or rivers. I really don't know where to go on vacation. You know where to go on vacation? It's called staycation. And actually, that's part of the reason this year that I pivoted from in the field content. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be doing multiple nights in the Smoky Mountains, backcountry backpacking. So you're going to have all those videos. So it's not going to be, a travel adventure free year for Irish Guys Adventure Channel. But I've decided to invest heavily in other components like this audio equipment, this video equipment, this lighting. I've got a sofa coming that I haggled like a dog and got, just a super good deal on a name brand sofa for a couple $100 delivered. So, you can't beat that. And then, yeah, SoCal says celebrities love the Caribbean or Fiji. Yeah, Fiji I've never been. I'm afraid to fly. And, and the good thing about the Caribbean is that, I can drink some Jägermeister and I can be set. But, a longer duration flight, man, having to go further than a little bit of Jägermeister would allow would be kind of difficult. I can't stand flying. Jake says, did you hear about the collision on the Welland Canal here in Canada? 2 ships collided after one had a steering gear failure. Their names were the Florence Spirit and Atlantis. They collided head on. Ooh, that sounds painful. I hope everybody was okay. Yeah, SoCal Seth said it right. He said, Puerto Backyards. There you go. Sometimes you just gotta do that. Philippe says, might be my best vacation and the cheapest in my apartment in New York City. Yeah, hey, nothing wrong with that, man. Good thing is about New York, got tons of delivery. You get pretty much anything you want delivered. Let's see. Philippe says, if I call you live, I may have to turn off speakers or stay away from my PC because of the. Oh no! All you got to do, just mute your computer speakers and just pick up your phone and call the Soho studio number. My Soho number right here that I've got on the yellow phone. So yeah, just message me on Facebook and if you want to dial in, be a live guest on the air, everybody will be able to hear us. We won't hear echo. That's the cool thing about this new studio equipment. I think that'd be cool, man. Jake says the Florence Spirit got it the worst, but the Atlantis got off with just a big old dent in the starboard bow area. So now people that don't know boats or ships, the starboard is to the right. So if you're behind the little helm, starboard's to the right and the bow's in the front. So you said it was a big old dent in the starboard bow area. So if I'm captain of the boat, it's going to be up that way. Jake says, Florence Spirit is out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Atlantis is a German-owned, but Canada-operated. Florence Spirit got it worse since it was smaller. SoCal Seth says, I don't like flying over open ocean either, but cruise ships are too slow and not enough time in port. Yeah, the only cruise ship where you get time in port is Bermuda. You know, get you a boat out of New York or Baltimore and go to Bermuda. And typically those cruises will stay in Bermuda for a few nights. Just get you a moped, park it out in front of the ship, and obviously don't drink and drive a moped. That's the only disadvantage. Because in Bermuda, unless you're Bermudian, you cannot rent a car. You can only rent a moped. Or take a taxi, which taxis they're sky high, man. Or you can take the bus, but buses don't go everywhere. And there's ferries, you know, the little boats. You can get those. And actually, a lot of the ferries, you can put your moped on the boat, on the ferry. Jake says, starboard right. Oh, okay. You sent me a text on Facebook. Okay, Philippe, I'm shooting you the studio number right now. Let me get over there. Be just a second. Just a second. And when Philippe dials in here, we'll have to see. Everybody have to let us know if the audio quality is good, because I'm going to be ringing them through this broadcast quality equipment. Let's see, Philippe. I'll give you the dial-in number here. Get it from my yellow phone, the studio phone, Arts Guys Adventure Channel. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just having to get it. There we go. Here it comes, Philippe. Just give me a ring, and after I'll put it on mute until after you connect, and then I'll bring you into the live show, man. A representative is standing by to answer. Let's see. So Philippe's dialing in here. That ought to be interesting. Checking my audio levels here, make sure it's all good. Jake says the crash happened last week. It's not long ago. That is not long ago at all. Hey, Philippe, how's it going, man?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press...
Philippe.
Steady.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Okay, you're live on the air. Can everyone hear Philippe? Are they here in the studio audience?
I hope you guys don't mind my French accent and you guys can understand what I say.
Well, we're about to find out. I can understand you well. Can everybody hear Philippe?
Let's see. Let's wait for some replies there.
Yeah, I bet Jake's right on it.
Okay, very, very nice. So, Ed, I really enjoy your show, your live stream, and hopefully you will get more people watching and listening your show a few times a week.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that's I appreciate your viewership and you tuning in and your comments and everything. It adds so much to the live show. So it's good to have you as a live guest here.
And this is your first time trying someone to call you live on stream? First time?
Well, it's the first time during it is. I did a test call. It wasn't a live show though, so it was just kind of testing the equipment. But you were asking about the, this Rodecaster that I use, and this is going through that. So I've got a separate audio level I can use for the phone, and then all the audio. So we're talking, so we don't hear an echo, and then the audience shouldn't hear an echo either. So it's kind of cool.
Great. Well, thank you, Ad. Thank you. It was a nice try, and we keep chatting in the room. Okay. Have a nice evening.
Oh, you too, sir. Thank you. Thanks for dialing in.
Thank you. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
So everybody, that was Philippe, and that was awesome. Call-in guest for the live show. And let's see, Jake says, if you want a mod, I'm in for just update me on chat rules and I'm good to go. Yeah, man. I mean, as this live stream grows, I think it would be really cool to be able to integrate moderators and just my goal for this. It's like most anything else on this channel. It's kind of like build it and they will come. That saying. Build it and they will come. It's kind of the same principle with this channel. Part of it is just learning all this technology, but of course the next level is taking it and refining the technology and making the video better. Just like Eat More Possum said earlier. He said, "Hey, dude, your microphone's well focused, but you're not." I mean, it's things like that. It just takes. It's a constant quest for improvement. But I think the quality now is great. I can hear myself a few seconds live. Yeah, it's delayed. Philippe, that was let's see. The crowd is cheering. It was good. It was good to have you dialing in, man. That's awesome. So, and the other thing for upcoming live shows, now that I've figured out, and actually I'm posting a tutorial, and it's not part of the live show, but I'm posting a tutorial for how to integrate Skype face on video guest within your live stream. So that's a tutorial that I'll be posting probably later this evening or maybe early tomorrow morning. So that's the other technology. The other piece that I have, I can have one caller. Currently, I've got one phone line. Technically, I could do two callers, or I guess if I conference multiple people together, I could have more people, on the call-in line. Then I've also got Skype, and I think Skype allows up to 100 participants, just audio only or video and audio. So, I mean, that should get really interesting. So, I really want to, I want to take this show to the next level, not just Epic Drone Show, but also Our Skies live show, and and continue obviously the walk and talk streams and build a podcast component too, because I've got the ability to record. Actually, with the Blackmagic ATEM Mini Pro, I've got the ability on it to record both audio and video. And Philippe says, "Wow, thank you, Ed, for taking my call. My first time live on the radio." Hey man, you did great, and you sounded great, and I appreciate you tuning in. That's really cool. Yeah, so we've got let's see. Jake says, thought I would offer is I'm here almost every stream. And yeah, I mean that's the thing. If I get to where I'm having moderators and stuff, that'd be really cool. And just this is an interesting. It's been an interesting experiment, but the biggest thing is now that this show, you've noticed we haven't had any connection drops. Everything's been that's a cricket sound. So we haven't had connection drops or anything like that. And I think it's just, now I've just got to figure out, I'm going to update some of my soundboard. I've got the soundboard here. I can customize those sounds. So I'm just going to work to further refine this. And it's going to be really, really cool. And I've also and I was talking about this during a previous live show, but taking a I don't like things that are too structured. It's structure, too much structure can make things feel boring. Too much structure can make things less exciting. And for that reason, I do want to integrate a little bit of structure into the live show. So, as I figure out which format works best, one of those pieces, what I want to do going forward with Irish Guys live show, for example, is have like a segment as part of every upcoming Irish Guys live show where maybe it's 10, 20 minutes, but it's a segment for callers to call in, ask questions, callers to call in and comment about whatever, just keep that component as part of every Irish Guys live show. And then also be able to have live guests face on video by way of Skype. And that's the coolest thing with Skype is that unless they change it, at least now, it doesn't cost anything. So I'm not having to pay a subscription fee. Yeah, this equipment was expensive, but again, it's a matter of ROI, return on investment. So Jake says, I love those sound effects. Philippe says, sometimes you don't need much to be happy in life. Amen, man. Just have good food, have good travel, have have fun with technology. There's things to do. So, this pandemic that we're all experiencing, I don't think it's the end of the world, but it's, again, it's provided opportunities for people to entertain and educate themselves in different ways. And that's the pandemic obviously has prompted the rapid, or the extreme studio renovations here at Irish Guys Adventure Channel. So, that was all prompted by the pandemic. So, it brings some positive things to the table. But yeah, so both the ATEM, the ATEM Mini Pro, it can record video and audio. I can plug in an external hard drive and record video and audio to use as a video podcast. And then this, I could record audio only. So what I've got to do is, and if anybody out there is a professional podcaster, or if you know a professional podcaster, if you could hook me up with them, because I don't know anything about podcasting, and I'd like to know how to, I know YouTube somewhat well, but I'd like to know, with podcasting, how to monetize a podcast, the best places to distribute your podcast, because podcasts open up the ability for people that are driving, that sort of thing, where they don't necessarily want to watch, a face-on-video production. They may pick up a podcast and listen to it while they're commuting or whatever, and maybe not even listen to it live. So Jake says, also, I might recommend if I need getting a night host if need be. Man, I'm always looking for, I'm always looking for guests on the show. So if you want to be a guest face on video with Skype, just let me know, because I'm always looking, probably, and tomorrow, let's see, what is today? Monday. Today I just kind of hopped on. I want to get something on the calendar for Wednesday evening. And I don't know if anybody around here would be game for being a guest by way of Skype or telephone call. If so, let me know. Because, Wednesday evening I'd like to schedule an Irish Guys live show. So with that being said, I've got some more video work to do, and I love these live shows, but we've been online for an hour now. Again, I appreciate everyone tuning in. I appreciate the super chats. It's always awesome. Appreciate Philippe calling in, and being a live guest on tonight's show. So it's just been a good show, and I look forward to another show soon. So y'all be safe, and I've got to cut out. I've got to do some video editing for one of my customers. So thank y'all again, and y'all have a good day. See, I got to figure out how to get this outro clip up. I got to add that second Apple TV is what I got to do, man. But for this what I'll do is this. So this won't be a perfect transition by any means. Whoa. It's not perfect at all, actually. It's on the other screen. See, this is where, as a host, you know, I've got to improve. See, this should be, well, let's see if it works. Maybe it'll work. Let's do a cut here. We're going to do view full screen. This might work. Let's see what happens. It'll work if I pull it over to the correct monitor. Let's see. So I'm going to pull this over. And I'm going to full screen it. And in theory, what should happen, it should... See, I've got to do... I got to create what's referred to as macros. And once I do that, all of this will be just a very fluid experience for the viewers. So, let's see. Fit to screen. Now this should work. Let's see what happens. Y'all have a good night, too. Thanks for... again, thanks, everyone, for tuning in here. Let's see, I'm trying to get this outro clip. Enter full screen. There we go. Okay, there we go. So this is going to work. Okay, here we go. So this is going to be the cut into the outro clip. Should be. Still learning, still learning. Okay, so preview is going to be, oh yeah, this is going to work. If I can see my mouse. Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.